there's a moment that people love to celebrate: the acceptance letter, the full ride, the achievement. It looks like everything came together, like it all just worked out, like a soft life moment. But what people don't see are the years behind it: the discipline, the structure, the sacrifices, the decisions that didn't always feel good in the moment, but were necessary. Because a life that looks easy is often built on a foundation that wasn't. Soft life, but let's be honest, there's always hard truths. Welcome back to Soft Life, Hard Truths, the podcast where we talk about the beauty of ease and the reality that comes with it. I'm your host, Chutney Thompson. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to my listeners here in the United States, to those of you out there in the UK, and a very special shout out to my listeners in Poland, because that's where I am currently internationally ranked on Apple Podcasts. And that truly means something to me, to know that something I created, something so personal, is reaching you wherever you are in the world. I don't take that lightly. So, thank you. Truly. And now, let's get into today's episode, because today we're talking about what it really takes to build a life that others will one day call soft. Today, I'm joined by someone who means everything to me: my daughter, who has just earned a full ride scholarship to college. And while that moment looks like success, what people don't see is everything it took to get there. Welcome, baby.
Thanks for having me on, Mom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's get right into it. What does this moment feel like for you? Receiving a full ride?
It honestly feels unreal sometimes, like I'm still processing it. As an 18-year-old, college costs are always in the back of your mind, so getting a full ride feels like a huge relief. It makes me feel proud because I know how much work went into it. It also makes me excited for the future instead of worried about money.
Did you always believe this was possible for you, or did that belief grow over time?
I didn't always believe it was possible at first. In the beginning, it felt like something that only happened to other people. But over time, as I kept working and seeing my own progress, I started to believe it more. That confidence really grew the more effort I put in.
Let's get a little deeper. What was one of the hardest moments in your journey that people don't see?
One of the hardest parts was dealing with stress and doubt at the same time. There were moments where I felt tired and questioned if I was doing enough. Most people only see the results, not the pressure that goes on in the background. Learning how to keep going even when I felt unsure was really tough.
Now, we know there were times you could have taken your foot off the gas. What made you stay focused?
I stayed focused because I kept thinking about my future and what I wanted for myself. I knew that if I slowed down too much, it might affect my chances later. It wasn't always easy, especially when I felt like my friends were relaxing and I was working, but reminding myself of my goals helped me stay on track.
What sacrifices did you have to make that other people your age might not understand?
I gave up a lot of free time that other people my age were able to enjoy. Sometimes I had to say no to hanging out so I could finish work or study. It wasn't always fun, and sometimes it felt unfair, but I knew those choices were important for reaching my goals.
Okay, here's a good one. What has it been like having me as your mom through all of this?
Having you as my mom has made a big difference in how I handled everything. You were always there to remind me to stay focused, but also to keep going when things got hard. It made me feel supported even when I was stressed. Knowing you believed in me, even through some tough times in our relationship, helped me believe in myself too.
Did my expectations ever feel like pressure or did it feel like support?
There were moments when it felt like pressure, especially when I was already stressed. But overall, it felt more like support because I knew your expectations came from wanting the best for me. It pushed me to work harder even when I didn't feel like it. Looking back, it helped me grow and stay disciplined.
Emma, you've been amazing. I just have one last question in closing. What would you say to a young girl right now who wants what you have but doesn't yet understand what it takes?
I would tell her that it takes more consistency than talent. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to keep showing up and putting in effort every day. There will be times when it feels tiring or unfair, but staying focused matters. If you stay patient and keep working, the results really can come.
You know, as moms, we hope and we pray that our lessons land, that our words stick, that one day they understand why we pushed the way we did. Because sometimes love looks like comfort, and sometimes love looks like structure. And from my side, it was never about pressure. It was about preparation. Because I knew the life you said you wanted would require discipline, consistency, and the ability to keep going, even when it wasn't easy. I'm your host, Chutney Thompson, and this has been Soft Life, Hard Truths. Real life, real talk. And before we go, I wanted to share something with you. I've been thinking, and I realized I miss sharing my poetry with you all out loud. So, starting next week, I'll be introducing a new segment called Poetry in Motion, where I bring words to life, not just on paper, but in voice. And as a poet, I'm also proud to share that 2 out of my 3-part poetry series are currently available now on Amazon. As always, in closing, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, wishing you love and light. Good night.